Psalm 127:3. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. This suggests children are a precious gift from God to be valued and cared for.
In the United States, a child a minute is taken into DHS, CPS, and so on custody. The reality is their picks are already selected, you just don't know it. Being perfect no longer matters. It's what the adopting families are looking for.
Who is it stealing the children, you ask?
From caseworker to the White House, the buck stops at all levels, just not where it is supposed to be. The services your family needs, we the people have paid for to ensure your reunification. Title 4 says, reunify at all costs. United, we stand means nothing to us when it comes to family values. Children are being ripped away from their families. Parents are reverting to addictive behaviors to cover the pain. The trauma caused by child removal is just being recognized, and the results are atrocious. Termination of parental rights is not healthy for anyone, just profitable for the people enforcing the lie.
It's time Washington listens to the cries of our children, the wails of their mothers, and the rage growing in the fathers. These are our children. Keep your damn hands off them. We are coming to act on the behalf of the children God gave us to protect, and you kidnapped.
In the heart of our great nation, where the strength of our communities is built upon the foundation of strong and loving families, an urgent crisis is unfolding. Child Protective Services, CPS, an institution designed to safeguard our most vulnerable, has in many cases betrayed its noble mission. Too often, families are torn apart not by neglect or abuse, but by systemic failures and corruption. We can no longer stand idly by as these injustices continue. We are here to give a voice to those who have been isolated, to shine a light on the corruption, and to rally our fellow citizens in this critical fight for justice. Every day, countless families are caught in a web of bureaucracy and abuse of power, their lives disrupted and their bonds shattered. Children, who should be nurtured and protected, are instead placed in situations that can be just as, if not more, harmful than the circumstances from which they were taken. Parents, often bewildered and powerless, face insurmountable odds as they fight to reunite with their children. This is not the America we believe in. We cannot allow these injustices to persist. Our mission is to educate, to inform, and to inspire action. We promise to bring you daily updates on CPS, exposing the truth and fighting for reform. We must remember that the future of our nation depends on the strength and unity of our families. By standing together, we can hold CPS accountable and ensure that it fulfills its true purpose, protecting children and preserving families. This is a fight we must not and will not lose. We are committed to saving our families and securing a brighter future for all. The road ahead is challenging, but with your support, we can make a difference. Together, we will bring hope to those who have lost it and ensure that justice prevails. Let us unite with unwavering resolve and a sense of patriotic duty to safeguard the integrity of our families and the future of our nation.
In the United States, CPS makes upwards of $3 billion per day on trafficking and selling our children. The corruption may start with the caseworker, but goes through the judicial system, passing the governor through the Senate and into the White House. The entire system has a hand in the business known as CPS.
Our children are stolen every minute of a 24-hour day. They are being robbed of their innocence, their trust, their happiness. As parents, we are isolated and betrayed by a government we trust. States are balancing budgets on kids' lives. Only 12% of the kids taken will be reunified. Title IV funding is being riveted with fraud.
We need to stop CPS and abolish CPS.com is leading the way. Join us.
What's up, everybody? It's Tuesday night. CPS victims hunting justice. I almost lost what day it was. Sorry we're late. But tonight we have a special guest here joining us. So we're gonna get going here pretty quickly. Because CPS doesn't just come to your house when it's for children. They also are attacking the parents and the grandparents. Elder abuse is a big thing in this country, supposedly. And there's a lot of people out there that are being put in trouble like this, just like parents of the children. But the Child Protective Services of the Elders, or the Adult Protective Services, APS, they're just as bad. So I'm going to bring Herbert out. Herbert, give us a little introduction to his guest. Herbert?
Other people. Yeah, it's just Herbert here. I'm on a show right now with a young lady. And can you see her?
Hi, guys.
Yes, yeah, we can see her. How are you?
You see her? And
yes, sir, we can see.
Okay, and she has a little baby. Yeah, she has a little baby. Here's a little baby right there.
Oh, nice.
And I'm in the process of teaching her how to avoid having her little baby taken by Child Protective Services.
Heck yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for all the advice.
Because she has no idea the things that she could do or not do that can come and take the baby away.
Right. If you knew better, you'd do better, right?
Amen.
Yeah. So she has no idea. So she doesn't have a clue. So I'm going to be cluing her in on things to avoid, so that a lot of your guests don't become a part of that system.
Right. Well, that's the thing, is nobody realizes that this is a real thing, and nobody expects it to happen to them. And, it's that attitude that gets you sucked into it. You always need to be prepared. You always need to be looking over your shoulder, because these people are coming after money. That's it. This is the way that they're funding our country. And without the babies and without the in-laws or the elders, they don't have money to run. So, as long as there's children in this world, there's money in the market for them. So no matter what you do, you always need to just proceed with caution. Don't ever think that you're too good of a parent, that it's never going to happen to you, because you'll end up like all of us. It's in a whiff of an eye. Just like Herbert says, stay off that radar. Stay
off the CPS radar.
Amen.
And that's what I do. Go ahead and get your food.
Thank you.
Okay, she's got to get some food right now.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the other person here that I was talking about. Her name is Shelly.
Hi.
And
Hi, Shelly.
Shelly's situation is not child protective, but adult protective services.
Yes.
Right.
And she tells you about that.
Just as bad.
It's just as bad, if not worse.
It's worse.
Right.
Well, I mean,
Right.
worse in a good way, because adult protective services is very serious about protecting senior citizens. And
Right.
I am intimately aware about how adult protective services work, because my mother has dementia. And when she was diagnosed, we had a diagnosis, but she was still verbal at that time, and she was still able to call on the phone. And my family and I, she lived with us, and my family and I were going on vacation, but she couldn't come, and so we wanted to keep her in a respite care home just for a week, and it was the same respite care home that we had used for her in the past. But because she had dementia in 2018, she didn't really have it as much in 2016. She got scared. And when I told her that, hey mom, we're going back to the respite home that I put you before, and you're only going to be there for a week, and you really loved it last time, and she was okay with it, at least so I thought. But she called her sister in North Carolina and told her sister that she was scared, that she didn't know what I was going to do, that I was packing up her stuff, that she didn't understand, and she was scared. And her sister and her sister's son called the police came to my house.
Hey guys.
Got her to neurologist. She was diagnosed with dementia. Had gone to an attorney and had gone up to power attorney and all that stuff gone up higher. And so I had all the rights, but I was taking very good care of her because she was living to my home. But adult services had me under investigation for 8 months. They interviewed me. They found, and finally after around 8 months, they sent a letter saying, "Oh, you're fine, nothing wrong. You didn't do anything wrong." I'm like, I know,
right?
Nothing wrong. But adult protective services, you cannot play with adult protective services because they will absolutely investigate anybody that they
Wow.
like harming a senior citizen. It's not harming that senior citizen at all, and that's my story.
Wow. Holy smokes. That's crazy. That is absolutely, that's just insanity. I can't believe that they can, it's like they just play with people's emotions, It's crazy. It's just, with no disregard.
Well, they're doing their job, and I guess there's a lot of they are just doing their job, but they absolutely invaded my home. They had the police come to my home. Well, the police came to my home. They came, and 2 cop cars came running up my driveway and coming into my home and demanding to see my mother. It was absolutely terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. When the police came, my mother said, "Oh, everything's fine, right here, blah, 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 blah." She had dementia, and I was telling them, I'm like, you know what? She's not well. She's not well. But they don't, they don't believe. They don't believe what you're saying. And so they turned the case over. They turned me over to adult protective services, and I had to go through all of that for like 8 months.
Right. I dealt with the dementia thing with my grandparents too, and with the adult protective services, and many times they've called or they've said things. This was back then when they were alive, but they would say things and they would come and have to investigate, and there was nothing going on, but because they were in their own mind and what they were doing, and they didn't, like you said, they didn't want to believe. Like the lady is talking about elephants that are walking by. Obviously, we're not in here, pillaging her house or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't remember anything direct, but it was just crazy how they just don't care. They don't want to listen, and it's up to them to figure it out. And you know, when you're sitting there and medically, you're like, no, this is what's happening, but they just want to push and push and push.
Exactly.
You know, it's
Exactly.
crazy.
Thankfully, I know, but thankfully, I had done everything like right, and so I had all the medical documentation. I had all the legal work. But I don't know what would have happened if I didn't have all my papers in order and if I didn't have all the medical stuff done. I don't know what would have happened to me. I really don't. But I mean, that is really a tale, you know, a tale of the lies, I guess. But I mean, it's just
Right.
If you suspect it's going on, if someone's close to you, the mentor, or anything else, you got to get your paperwork. You got to get the paperwork. You got to get everything.
Yeah. It's almost like being in.
Airtight.
Right. It's almost like going to jail. You always have to have your paperwork with you, you know, just to prove at any moment that that's what's going on. Unfortunately, but that is the truth. That's great. You know what? That's great advice for people out there, especially that are caring for their parents, to have their paperwork always on hand for the medicines, for what's going on. That's great advice to have people have that right on hand. That way, when they come, there's no question what's going on with them. If they have dementia, you're not in trouble. You know, so that's great advice.
I'll tell you something. It's really
I'm losing her there. Oh shit, we lost him. Vinny, we lost him.
There you
I think Herbert's service is bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could hear him or not.
It was in and out. It kind of sounded like a little robot.
Yeah, it was the robot lady. Yeah. So maybe Herbert will come back on here in a minute.
So I now have an update.
Okay, what do we got?
I have court for the CPS case in September.
Oh, okay. That's kind of good, right?
Well, kind of, sort of.
Because that's just going to drag on your
They're trying to use my criminal side against me to terminate my right.
Right. I know that. I'm well aware of that. And it doesn't make any sense that that's not the way that the law is supposed to work.
So I'm waiting for my new attorney to go over all the information that I just sent him.
Okay. I got some new information from a gentleman that's going to be joining us on the show too here coming up. But he sent me some stuff to look at. I don't know. You've probably seen him on the. His name's Tony. You've probably seen him on TikTok. He has the glasses. Sometimes he's smoking a cigarette. He's a lawyer. He tells other. Yeah, he's coming on the show. And he sent me some stuff today. So that's something for us to look forward to. Hopefully this coming week we can get him in here and talking with us about some things. That would be really big. But he sent me some stuff that I'll send over to you. Maybe you could look at and it could assist you in your case.
Yeah.
So, but what do you think about, let's watch a little bit more of that video with the case law stuff. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. Hold on a second here. The one that Carrie sent us. So Carrie, thank you again for that.
Yeah, Carrie, that's some valuable stuff right there.
Yeah, she's just handing it away on us. Let me see here. Just gotta get it, and then we can start the flick. Okay. Oh yes. Yes. So, anything else going on today, Vinny? How was work?
Long.
Yeah.
I worked
a long day.
I've worked since Friday, and I'm not off until Thursday. So I'm on a 6-day stretch.
Hey, boy,
And
girl.
by tomorrow, I'll have over 27 hours banked.
Very good, Vinny. Good for you. You're a hardworking SOB, man.
Yeah. I worked extra today. I was supposed to be off today, but they asked me to work yesterday, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, this is, let me see. Where is this? Carrie, she's all right. Where is that video? Carrie, thought Carrie was the one that sent it. I'm pretty positive Carrie sent it to me. There we go. Yeah, I got it right here. Okay, so we were about to... So this is some good stuff right here, guys. This is where I'm going to start it from yesterday. We'll be checking out the case law that was on. We got case law here for you guys to watch. This is good stuff. I know it's a little bit different than what we're usually doing, but this stuff right here is worth the watch. All right, so check this stuff out. See if it can pertain to your case.
Plaintiff must set forth the specific factual basis of a complaint must allege. Supreme Court has cautioned violated the due process clause of the 14th of the laws. You also need to write out each amendment the state official.
Also write that you are not required to cite case law, because that will be the next reason they dismiss.
Remember, Section 1983 is a part of the 1871 Civil Rights Act. You have to write that in your complaint. Of course, they know this information, but you need to let them know this is your cause of action. You also need to write out each amendment the state officials violated, for example, the 14th Amendment. Yes, you need to write out the entire 14th Amendment in your complaint. This is the 14th Amendment. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. A clause is defined as a part of a sentence. The Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment is, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. The Due Process Clause is, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. You need to specify which clause defendants violated. The Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment affords both procedural and substantive due process. The Supreme Court has held the requirements of procedural due process apply only to the deprivation of interests encompassed by the 14th Amendment's protection of liberty and property. See Regents of State Colleges v. Roth, 1972. While substantive due process under the 14th Amendment forbids the government to infringe fundamental liberty interests at all, no matter what process is provided, unless the infringement is narrowly tailored to serve a compelling state interest. Washington v. Glucksberg, 1997. Citing Reno v. Flores, 1993. Supreme Court has cautioned that the Due Process Clause does not purport to supplant traditional tort law, and therefore it should not be interpreted to impose federal duties that are analogous to those imposed by state tort law. Collins v. City of Harker Heights, 1992. Daniels v. Williams, 1986. See also Boyd v. Armstrong, 2019. U.S.C. Section 1983, a complaint must allege, 1. The conduct complained of was committed by a person acting under color of state law, and 2. The conduct deprived a person of a right, privilege, or immunity secured by the Constitution or laws of the United States. Parrott v. Taylor, 1981. Section 1983 is the appropriate avenue to remedy an alleged wrong only if both of these elements are present. Haggard v. Younger, 1985. Municipality means county or city normally sued with no other defendants. Plaintiff must set forth the specific factual basis upon which the plaintiff claims each defendant is liable. Aldabe v. Aldabe, 1982. In determining municipal liability, it is necessary to conduct a separate inquiry into whether there exists a policy or custom. Davis v. City of New York, 2002-2003. The Supreme Court has identified at least 2 situations that constitute a municipal policy, where there is an officially promulgated policy as that term is generally understood, a formal act by the municipality's governing body, and where a single act is taken by a municipal employee who, as a matter of state law, has final policy-making authority in the area in which the action was taken. Citing Manel 2018 and Pembor. A municipal custom, on the other hand, need not receive formal approval by the appropriate decision-maker. Instead, an act performed pursuant to a custom that has not been formally approved by an appropriate decision-maker may fairly subject a municipality to liability on the theory that the relevant practice is so widespread as to have the force of law. See also Kern versus City of Rochester, 1996. Noting that a municipality's custom need not be memorialized in a specific rule or regulation, a plaintiff may establish municipal liability by demonstrating that a policymaker indirectly caused the misconduct of a subordinate municipal employee by acquiescing in a long-standing practice or custom which may fairly be said to represent official policy. Miller versus County of Nassau, 2006. To prevail on this theory of municipal liability, however, a plaintiff must prove that the custom at issue is permanent and well settled. See Proprotnik. Noting that the Supreme Court has long recognized that a plaintiff may be able to prove the existence of a widespread practice that, although not authorized by written law or express municipal policy, is so permanent and well settled as to constitute a custom or usage with the force of law. Quoting Addicts versus S.H. Crest 1970. Under this theory, for example, a municipality may be liable for the failure to train or supervise its employees where such a failure amounts to deliberate indifference to the risk that its employees will unconstitutionally apply its policies. Without more training or supervision. Amnesty versus Town of W. Hartford, 2004.
All right, guys, that's it for that. We'll put pause on that for night. Herbert's back. Herbert, you got service now? Herbert.
Hello?
Hey, there you are.
Yeah.
Now you're a little bit better.
Okay, wait. Let me get it back again.
We lost you at the end there.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's going to the story. Yeah, I got it back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here we go. She's going to finish the story with Florida. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, please do. Hey, all right, you're back.
So
Yeah, we lost you there for a second.
Yeah, what I was going to tell you was that it's really important to always have your documents with you. Once you get the documents, always have them with you, because when I was telling you how I put my mom, we were going to Florida. I live in Maryland, so we were going to Florida for vacation, and this is after the police came and did the well check, okay, and then let us, proceed on. And then we went to Florida. When we got to Florida, Adult Protective Services contacted me in Florida, but I was able to scan and send them my power of attorney. I was able to send them the diagnosis from the doctor. I did all of that from Florida, and I had it with me. And so when Adult Protective Services first contacted me, I was able to prove my stature within my mother's life, prove my standing, I should say, prove my standing in my mother's life as someone who's legally supposed to be doing what I was doing, which was taking care of her. If I didn't have that information with me, and I wasn't able to produce it immediately because they wanted it immediately, and I was in Florida. I just
So thankfully you did that. Thankfully you took the precautions to take that with you.
Exactly, and that was just God. Trust me, because I didn't even intend to take it. It's just I keep everything in a huge binder, and so I had the binder in the car with me.
Got you.
That's it.
But
so
either way,
that's
it's
my.
for you.
I was just saying, so just get your documents, keep them nearby. That's that's my huge advice to anyone.
That's such good information. I think that everybody should do that, even with Child Protective Services too. Same thing. Everybody just keep their documents right nearby. If you have to do it in jail, you should have to do it in regular life too.
Exactly. Well, I'm happy to share the story.
Yeah. Go ahead. Well, my question was, how is your relationship? What has happened what's your relationship now?
Well, that was in 2018, and now my mother has declined even more. So now she's like not even verbal. So we can't even that would never happen now.
Okay.
She's.
I'm sorry about that.
Dementia is a progressive disease, and it's fatal. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just what it is. So
Yeah.
it's a very sad
Yeah.
thing to watch. Absolutely. But
Yes, it is.
but she's still with us. She's still with us, and she's still living, and she's
Right.
doing the
Oh.
best that she can. At
Yeah.
this point. But she's
But did they
declined a
seem to
lot, and
stop? Did they stop messing with you after that occurrence, or did they continue to? Were they bothersome towards afterwards too?
I mean, I was under investigation, so we had home visits from
Yeah.
Adult Protective Services and everything. I went through the whole process of having to clear myself,
Right.
even with the documents,
Right.
But they came to the house. They interviewed her. They interviewed, me. They wanted to know, who was living in the home and all that. My husband, my kids, all that.
Right.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Now, here's a weird question for you. Did they make anything to kind of push you and your husband apart? Was there any sort of family degradation tactics that they used towards you guys when it went like that? Like for instance, in childhood in the Child Protective Services, they're always trying to separate the mom and the dad. Do they try to do anything of that with the Adult Protective Services?
No, they were mainly focused on me. They were really focused on me. They really didn't spend much time at all. They spent no time at all with my husband, actually. They just wanted to know who was living in the house and that kind of thing. And my husband was there when the police came.
Right.
But they didn't really asked to speak to him per se. At least that's what I remember.
Right.
But they absolutely asked to speak to me. They wanted a tour of the house. They wanted to see where my mother was living. She has her own room, her own bathroom, in a separate wing of the house. I mean, so she had a lovely, setup.
Right.
You know.
Wow.
But,
Well, I'm sorry you had to go through all of that. And it's like people don't realize until you go through these things, you think these people are there to help you. You think that they're there to assist you or your loved ones, and it's more of a harassment thing than it is a helping thing. Like, how do you feel about Adult Protective Services now that you've gone through this?
Well, you know what? I don't have any ill will because I know that I guess senior abuse is real. So I guess I understand their position. They deal with a lot of seniors who are getting ripped off, who are getting their money taken, who are getting abused. I guess when I get to be a senior, I guess someone's going to be looking out for me. That's my take, I guess.
Right.
But they take their job very seriously in the Adult Protective Services wing of it. I don't know much about the Child Protective Services.
Right.
I think that's probably a whole different. I mean, their goal is probably different. I don't know much about the Child Protective Services, but the adult. I mean, they are trying to make sure that the adult seniors aren't getting abused in any way. And sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they're wrong, and they've wasted their resources. They wasted their resources, running back and forth to my house. They wasted their resources calling me on the phone, having me, investigated, and they wasted their resources. But maybe, another incident, it wouldn't have been a waste.
Right. What was the end game for them? What was the end game for them? Like, were they trying to collect? Were they trying to stop? Like, what was their end game? Like, their solution of the end game was what?
What were they trying to do?
I don't know what they were trying to do. Here's the thing.
Trying to take the mom away?
I'm an only child. My father was only, okay? My mother had nobody else.
Right.
Okay. So what they were going to do if they found me negligent, I have no idea. Because there's nobody else that she could have gone to.
Right.
So what? I mean, like she had her sister that she called in North Carolina. She was her older sister, and her back sister could take care of herself either. That's why her son was living with her. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what were you gonna do? What were you gonna do? What to do in this situation? Even if I had a sibling, maybe my sibling was not in any position to take care of my mother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what were you going to do?
Yeah.
In jail? And then what was going to happen to her?
Right. All of her possessions be sold, and they'd take the money from that and they'd put her in some back hallway in some sort of nursing facility. I'm sure that's what their plan is. I mean, ultimately, that must have been their end goal, right? I mean, that's my guess, Vinny. What do you think?
Yeah. They try to segregate the father from the mother.
Let's get Brenda out here. Brenda's got a lot to say. Brenda, there you are.
I got two things going on, so I could talk to you on this one. I was thinking if you could email, maybe next time I get you guys up on the screen, that would free up the phone. My secondary phone, I was getting when I was, it was my Obama phone, I call it. I used, but that stuff that got stuck in hot car and I don't know, anything.
Why is everything garbly?
But yeah, that's what they're saying. That's what I'm saying. It's that a lot of seniors, like, that same big thing.
Do you want me to try to email you the link instead? Maybe that will work better.
Well, I don't think Chris is going to call.
You sound great, right? Whatever you're doing right now, you sound great.
Oh no, this is fine for now. But I'm saying another time, if we can get Chris on this phone and you guys on that, maybe next time I'll let you guys know. Like, you can email me a link because I got that up on the computer, and I think we could do it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then
yeah, no, that would be great.
Of the conversation, or I could just show you guys some tapes that he's done or whatever.
Yeah, I want you to tell everybody what you heard about the children in the boxcars.
Oh, well, what we were talking about was school buses. They're using school buses, and same story. Again, I've heard like 3 different stories. They were gutted out. Coincidentally, that was one school bus that was behind the house that I was forced to sell early because I had it picked up by that state-run program to pick up the house or whatever. So when I go by and notice the house is about to be demolished or whatever, I start kind of looking around my whole yard, with the same privacy signs up there as what we put up when we was there. And behind the house, I didn't see any change there. Little dialogue section that I don't know if the whole people need to down here about this junkyard thing. There's something.
Brenda, you're all garbly again.
This guy apparently seen at this junkyard. He actually seen the children shackled inside the bus. When he made a report to Dixon County, the same county that's holding on my husband, and God knows where my children are. But yeah, just like right now, my husband's going through like they're making some bunks. So he should have had a lot of bunks that long time ago, 2 months. And now we finally got the piece of paper last week from the nurse, and you haven't moved him on the final bunk yet or whatever. And they keep making excuses which aren't true. Like, there's plenty of bottom bunks. There's no reason he would have to go to the captain and request something like this because they're just being very difficult with him. I mean, they're not taking, it's just like a, torture, really. And then he didn't plan. We thought he was going to be out of there in like 3 days. And because the Florida Bar Association didn't approve, this Alabama attorney and his sponsor or whatever. They took literally 2 months to approve it. It was like, and they're thinking they actually solved that on purpose. But in any case, I don't know. He's just trying to get. I think they're going to go for dismissal for him. It's really, to me, it's a false charge. Just like they're trying to lock the parents up. What am I talking about before I get arrested? I'm talking about going to DC on a bus, and going, inform people what's going on with children across the country. I mean, Chris, that other Chris Crucible wanted to do it on the 4th of July, but we couldn't get enough people together. So they're in their mind, because they monitor everything I do, okay? They're watching my TikTok, whatever I'm posting. So they knew what my plans were. And then I'm almost thinking they ping my phone all the time. You know, it's no surprise. When I look at my phone and open it up, sometimes I have to reboot my internet. It always says FBI van, FBI van 4. And they drive around in the black SUVs, and then to me, they're driving around. Something concerned about the black SUVs, but the white trucks to me, like big white trucks.
Yeah. The white trucks are what we get too. Same thing.
Yeah.
But just so you know, my internet is CIA Intel. So that's what I put the name as mine. So if anybody's around here, it says CIA Intelligence. So it may not really be a FBI van running around here. It could just be someone messing around.
Well, the thing is that what I understand is like the Jacksonville FBI is supposed to be investigating 3 of these judges out of the 3rd Circuit after the state attorney and the county attorney have already been in prison for 2 years. They're supposed to be in there for like 6 or 7 to 9 years or something. So this particular person, this that made up this whole story about me and having a gun and stuff, he was trying to incite me. He knew who I was. He was trying to incite me to do something because he's like, oh, well, this Michael Osteen, oh yeah, this town is crooked, he's saying, and he says, oh, he's about to be released and all the charges dropped. And I'm like, what? And that's the story he was telling me. I mean, he had a lot to say, but everything he was saying to me wasn't in that freaking affidavit report at all. I wouldn't even mind posting that shit because I'm telling you, it's complete bullshit every step of the way. And they really fucked up. They, you know, I'm sorry to say, but this can all open up some doors to figure out, well, you did this to us now. It was completely false charges on both. I'd say for my husband too, it's a freaking cartoon, okay? And my children are asked to go home. I have a tape of my daughter wanting to come home and talking about abuse of a supervisor for Partnership for Destroying Families at that time in Trenton there. And now this questionable person, all right, I've already mentioned his name before, but he's been like a real thorn in my side, trying to get me violated on probation when I had to go 3 years of probation. Most people get let loose after after the halfway point. Not me, Devin. And they said it's because of what that guy said, they wouldn't let, you know, he was in our life, lying to police officers that we're some type of strong citizen. You know what cops are doing to people who call themselves citizens? They get killed. If they think they might have a gun or whatever, all we know is we don't know about those people. They end up getting dead because the cops are believing that the anti-law enforcement is evidence that's somehow considered guilty. It's completely stupid. It's happening again. I do that. When the doctor here had their people, the kids that they helped, 2 girls, were already like adults at 22 or so. And one of them was one of the 2 that they answered the cops that were well protected or something. I can't remember where that was at, but the thing is that 3 people are dead, and one of them they're going to Baker Act. You know, they just decide, oh, these people are crazy. What is making the people crazy is the problem. Why don't you look at the probabilities? If you treat somebody in a certain way, the probabilities of them reacting, you know, to that situation, you know, it gets higher. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
You know, the worse they treat you, the worse this person wants to, like, naturally react in a certain way. If you react like, say, kicking steam off, making a cartoon, and maybe saying, "Oh, pedophile judges, you know, we're gonna take care of them," I mean, what's wrong with the cartoon? Tom and Jerry, we can do that. And they didn't even get a chance. This is what I will send you, Darren, is his plan to do episode 2. They're talking about episode 1, okay? The Patriot Hero episode 1.
Yeah.
They're saying, even though it's still on YouTube, they're saying that, well, the TikTok won't post it. I'll tell you that. TikTok never allowed it.
It's still on YouTube right now, so I can pull it up.
Yeah, if you went to American Patriotism, or you can just type in Patriot Hero episode 1, or episode. Yeah, I don't want to send anybody anything because I'm just saying it's there available for people to watch. I'm not telling you to watch it. I mean, it's YouTube. It's a broadcasting network, and if you don't like what you see, you can change the channel. In fact, who in the world would know that it was him making a video from across how many states over here, unless they're looking at what his channel has been doing. They've been criticizing it since 2016 or 2015 or so. All the workers, they're just too long. I gotta write a book already. It's crazy. But you see it, Darren?
I think so. I'm gonna pull it up. So this is the video that got your husband in trouble, right?
The cartoon one, it starts out with it's a funny cartoon in the beginning. It's like commercials. Yeah, there it is.
Menopause before you were born. It's the show that asks, how old can you go? It's desperation taken to a whole new depth.
What the hell is this? What's America coming to?
Only on Weasel.
Wake up in the morning, drop a big old log out of here. You ain't got time for nothing fruity like a job.
This is more like it. This is American. This is a patriot way.
Cowboys in the heartland, bankers in the city. We love cars, guns, and big old plastic titties. Let's grab a case of piss while serving. Drink for the USA. Woo! Hey neighbors, I'm sorry, we're partying real much. You ought to speak English if you like it here so much. Not Spanish or Chinese or British. They're fucking Dutch. Fuck the Dutch. I said, yeah, we're gonna keep them illegals out. Guns and piss wasser. Yeah, that's what a party's all about. Getting real
There was 2 versions of that. That one, they said a rude.
Drinking piss washer fighting, getting real shit-faced tonight.
That's funny as hell.
Right?
That's my national right.
There's
Looks like I just found Judge
There it
Fairness.
is.
What do you think we should do with this child molesting pig, Judge Johnson, District 3, Florida? That pedophiles must be executed. I think, Judge Johnson, it's time to bury the hatchet.
I'm sorry, friend.
You filthy pig pedophile. This is for Sage and Christopher, you child molesting piece of shit.
See how you can get out frustrations this way, but it's not like you're really actually doing anything.
This is why they put him in
jail. Go to hell for all the children you molested, Judge Johnson.
But
This is
watch
what I'm
till
gonna
the
do
end,
to all
too.
the pedophile cops, pedophile lawyers, and pedophile judges. And now it's time to fly to D.C. and take out that big pedophile Christopher Wray.
Right? That's the FBI director.
Like the piece of shit he is. Judge Arthur Engoron.
That was Trump's.
Clearly the face of a pervert. Child molested piece of shit. Time for extermination. Another pedophile judge on the Epstein list. Judge Tanya Chutkan. A real pedophile piece of shit. She's next on my list.
And that's it.
That's it.
So they consider that to be a threatening video for whatever.
The charge is written or electronic threat to kill. But if you would look up the rules, statutes, or whatever you want to call it, the state statutes or whatever, if you would have had to send that video to someone, which never happened, he did not send it to anyone. I did not send it to anyone. And it was posted on a YouTube, which he never did the social media part of YouTube ever. He used it as a broadcasting network. Did you ever see that movie, that old movie, on this man's now, I'm not going to take it over it anymore, and it's called The Network. It's kind of like the movie he was trying to make. Also, you know, similarities to, you know, he's been, like I said, he's been doing this, acting like all different kinds of characters. I tell you one thing, they took out after a little while. You guys are too young for the Captain Kangaroo, but he Kangaroo with the kids and was funny as shit now. I mean, at least for consistent kids. I mean, he likes comedy. He dresses up like the Joker. He did the Joker thing with my oldest daughter, who's now a doctor at MD. She dressed up like Harley Quinn. That we walked around Cleveland of everybody that was going to American Music concert. We're like, you see these pictures? I didn't even know what we were doing. Maybe it was at this time. Downtown, we just had the old-fashioned camera. My oldest son had it up on a computer. We had pictures of it. And so playing characters with my oldest kids was different from them because they ended up being doctors graduate top of the class. But when we started young kids, they're trying to say about us making family films and having some fun with the kids. You know, to push around with something inappropriate. You know?
Right. Well, I mean, they can't go around making these decisions and destroying families, making rogue decisions. I mean, what's the difference between them tearing their families apart in that video and what was done there? And that's you're a public official. Don't make choices that are going to affect others in such a manner. You know, like you're supposed to be working for the people. Work for the people. Stop working for yourselves. You know, this is ridiculous. We need politicians that are in office that support the family unit, that are willing to fight for the American family, that aren't going to tear apart a mother and father institution, that want to promote marriage and having children, family values, period. But they don't want that. That's not what those people want. Those extremists, they want to put away anybody that shares those values, the ideas. They want to gender mutilation of the children so that they can't reproduce, so that they can't be a family person anymore. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting what they're doing. And they're pushing people to go to these measures to get their voices heard.
Yeah. And if you talk about it, again, where we're trying to do peaceful events to say, hey, inform people, but to them, it's threatening. I'm telling you, even to senators or congressmen, when they feel they're being threatened, well, all the media is covering that, and everybody's like, oh, they've been threatened. But when it's like, say, he's a veteran, he's his family of the duration of Revolutionary War. This makes all my children sons and daughters of the American Revolution. How is that they want to twist that into being some radical group or something like this when it's a heritage thing?
Right.
I'm telling you, the bulletins they keep on people, I mean, they're making up stories, and then cops are going to see this and try to think they're going to take the word from whoever started this shit. I'll tell you, who started it was the Maine State Police. That's who friggin' started it. And it already goes up to Eric Holder during Obama's administration that he was the Department of Justice guy. And I was so thought that by this guy out in Bangor. That's when we first got on Monday. They're saying people are anti-government, anti-government. What the hell? No, we're not. Why
Right. Brittany, you're all blurby again. Hold on a second. You're all blurby again. Hold on. All right. Let's see that. Rennie, you there?
Yep.
Let me check your audio. You all right?
Yeah.
All right. I just lost her. Just booted her out. So I don't know if she was too blurby or what was going on there. But man, that's quite a story that she has. And I don't know if you've ever heard it before or what you got out of there, but I mean, it's just crazy what they've done to take these families apart, man. You know, like it's
And
just absolutely absurd.
they do it on a regular basis.
Yep. Every child a minute in this country gets taken out.
I bet is the top of the U.S.
Yeah, we
all
should
of
be
it.
proud. We should be proud as Mainers, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Just destroying the family unit one house at a time.
That's due to government mills.
Yep. Yes, there is. All right, Vinny. Well, why don't we wrap this one up for today? I don't know if we got to get Herbert back or this is showing me that it's not letting me bring Brenda back yet because her levels aren't right. You want to do a last word?
Yeah. To all you out there listening, keep your family safe. Keep your doors locked and away from CPS, and don't let them in your house.
Yeah, that's a fact right there. I'm gonna ride your coattails with that one. Don't let CPS in your door ever. I don't care if whatever they got to do, don't let them in. Even if they have a warrant, question the warrant. Make sure your attorney's there. Do all kinds of stuff. Just stay the hell out of CPS's hands, because if you do, let them take your kids. You're never going to get them back. So heed that warning. I'm the CPS Punisher. It's my man Vinny. We're out of here.